tested or checked anything, so I've no idea what the levels are, so please do let me know. Chat. So we've got a whole, just under 2 minutes of practice left before we get into qualifying. I've not had a look at the leaderboards or anything, so I'm not entirely sure. Famous to pre-qualifying, so keep an eye on it maybe for the upcoming qualifying. So it won't just be completely on my top, struggling for things to say. That's super choppy. Let's try fiddling with some stuff. AC. Is that any better? And do I need to lower the bit rate? How about that? Right, okay, I've lowered the bit rate quite a lot, so hopefully that will help with the choppiness. Might not look quite as good, but it looks a lot more stable in my preview as well, so. Even quieter, okay. Are you on about the VAF, or were you on about the sound or the bitrate? Try and get this all sorted before qualifying, but it looks like Petrol is currently was the fastest in practice from Tom from Supercars. So there's only a tenth or less than a tenth between them, so that's going to be quite close. I'm not done streaming in a long time, so bear with me. I need more monitors for doing this. Running out of screens. Right, okay. So I think in the standings, let's have a quick, let me find those in the previous week so we can see how maybe this is related to what the previous race, which was at somewhere in Canada land, I forget where. Right, so at the previous round, oh, looks like qualifying is go, go, go. Right, let's find a car. I'm not going to have a go at saying that name. Lujan? Luca Mark II is the first out of the pits. Right, so at the last round, Oversteer, who doesn't appear to have been checked in for this race, so second from the standings from the last round is Supercars. So let's keep an eye on him in this qualifying session to see where he ends up. And then also finishing up the top 5 was Helpless Deer, Bob and Tribute. So I think we have yeah, I'm not entirely sure half of them are even racing this week, but at least we have Supercars and we have Rune, so they are in the top 3 so far in the overall standings, so they'll be someone to look out for. Just we've got Lujan now about to start his flying lap. I have to say, so far this car has not been as slidey as I was seeing some people that I quickly looked into pre-qualifying with. You know, very definitely, oh, that looks a bit wild under braking, just about keeps under control. A slight look up at the front left, but he manages to get it into the apex okay. And the car seems nicely settled through there, no major issues. I'm not entirely sure if the car behind, I'm not entirely sure whose that is with the red shell livery, might be slightly closing in, and maybe, if I'm honest, probably started their lap too close, and I might find that they just end up getting themselves distracted. Still, and so far it's looking neat and tidy, not over leery or slidey, which I'm shocked at. This is a car that I drove briefly once and decided I would never drive. Oh, there we go. That is what I was, commentator's curse. That is the behaviour I was expecting to see more of, and well, there it is. Fair play to him. He nicely gets out of the way though, and lets everybody else get by. So, so it's Oscar with the Shell Coulthard livery. So let's see what his opening lap is. He will be the one who takes our preliminary pole position and lead our standings, as he'll be the first one to complete a complete flying lap. So there we go. The first lap is a 1:35.2. I must have completely missed some other people. Oh no, I'm just lying. This is, yeah, the first flying lap. So Rune, actually in the middle of the pack, has managed to go a fair couple of seconds quicker than that, and is on a 33.6. Right, okay, so now we should have some timings for comparison. Let's see as we go through Sector 1, Petrol has gone purple. Where is Petrol? As he completes his lap, he was purple in Sector 1 and green in Sector 2, but admittedly this is his first lap, and overall he must have been a bit slow compared to people in those middle and final sectors though. But Petrol so far has set the fastest time for the first sector, so one to keep an eye on later in the session. With that beautiful touring car livery there of a rapid fit one. I should probably work through the list and try and work out who people are. So we have Rune with the Bottle livery. Hopefully that is purely there to make everybody else bottle and not himself. But so far as we've gone through this lap, he's done a personal best in Sector 1 but hasn't improved in Sector 2 and is actually pitting. Tom is driving a black Banco de Brazil livery. He's not set any new good times in those either of those sectors. Being major, that looks like a slow lap there. Oh, Petrol getting badly held up there. I assume Petrol was still on his... Oh no, it wasn't Petrol. Who is in the same livery as Petrol? That was Team there, who I think might have been badly blocked into the first sector or something. It didn't look very... I was looking at the timing screen, so wasn't paying exact attention to that, but right, okay, so so far nobody seems to... I don't know how well these tyres hold up, but so far nobody really seems to be improving based on that first laps that were done. I don't know whether that's just a case of traffic or it's just being a difficult car, so once everybody's kind of done one lap and then had their various slips and slides and not really managed to improve, or whether it's just a case of you get one lap out of these tyres and then that's it, so everybody's had to come back in and go for a second run. There was a small lock up there from Team and a little bit of oversteer through the middle of the corner there, but it all seems reasonably well controlled. I'd say I think Team is not set a representative lap yet, so let's stay with him. He's a personal best in Sector 1. Marginally there. I think Supercars set a faster lap. I don't know if that's moved him up. I've just looking at the split sectors. His last lap, that 1:34.1, was a personal best for him in each one of his sectors. And Team gets very, very, very out of shape there. It seems to be the most difficult corner on the track there. Just as you come up the hill, you put a lot of load under the car, and then you also need to try and get it slowed down. Then for the next sharper turn, manages to keep it roughly pointing in the right direction, but it still isn't going to be the lap he was looking for, so you probably feel he's going to be a bit out of position. He's got traffic ahead and another lock up there, this time on the right front, and yeah, so he's slower than his Sector 2 time from that he'd already set, but he might not have put a complete lap together. Ah, so here we go, we've got Tom now has set a new personal best. He's gone purple in Sector 1, so let's see Team over the line. That moves him up more into a more respectable position. He's moved up to P8 there, but Tom has just gone purple in Sector 1. Seems to have a bit of space nicely as well in front of him for this middle sector, and the car there getting out of the way nicely for him as well. But this doesn't look like it's maximum attack, so I don't know if he's made a mistake when we were watching him. He seems to doesn't look exactly quick unless he's just keeping everything. Yeah, he's breaking in the middle of the corner there. I don't think that's the intended line. Oscar's just done a new personal best for himself there, moving himself up to 12th. So yeah, Tom, obviously we must have missed something that caused him to back off camera. It's just a shame because he had, I said, to go on purple in the first sector. So this will be his last chance now with only 50 seconds left on the clock. It seems like those that got their lap in first seem to have be the ones that are winning so far at this. See what else we've got maybe on the hot laps as we just, they might be finishing as we might be getting to the stage where some of these might be their last lap. Team might be able to get, will be able to get another one in just about. If he's got the fuel for it. That one wasn't quick. Mr. Floyd there's, ooh, I don't know. Oh, that might not have been the right car I was focused on that. So Jonas is the first one who's actually finished. So he manages to improve to 10th, and that is his qualifying done. Oh, Reen's just gone fastest there. So he's managed to move the benchmark. So Tom will need to find 4 tenths and but he's inside. He's well inside. So he just needs to keep this tidy and should easily be able to move into provisional pole position. So very simple. That last corner looked nice and neat, and he was 3 tenths inside. So I don't think he's gonna be under any trouble to really take this pole away from Roon. And there we go, 2 tenths faster. Tom takes the pole position. Let's see who else is still out there to finish. So there's Wolf. He's not set a personal best in the first sector. In P4, he's only a 10th off BM Major in 3rd. If he can find a bit of time in this middle sector. He has found some time, so he's 6 tenths currently of pole, which will put him on a 33.9, so that would potentially, he has a potential here to leapfrog BM Major. I don't think he's going to challenge the top 2, but there is a chance here of him maybe moving into that P3 position, and he manages to do it. So there we go. So the top 3 is Tom, followed by Roon, followed by Wolf. So Petrol says he fucked it. No, well, what's new? Super Yam, who are currently 2nd in the championship, is 6th. Luca 7th. Team is 8th. And this camera is useless in pitting. Well, I probably wasn't very good with my camera direction there, but majority of people seem to be keeping it on track. There were a few sideways moments that we saw, but in general it was very clean. So yeah, Tom in the end 2 tenths quicker from Roon, from Wolf, from BM Major. Petrol in 5th, Super Yam was 6th, Luca 7th, Team 8th. Pazzi Malanen in 9th, Kevin is 10th, Leonardo is 11th, Mario 12th, Eunice 13th, Jonas 14th, very similar name guys there just to catch me out, Mr. Floyd 15th, Oscar 16th, Samuel, Brazilian Samuel, so home race Samuel, 17th, Marco in 18th, Masvan in 19th, Luke Yan, who we were following at the start and seemed to be struggling a little bit with getting the power down, rounding out the split 1 in P20. Alright, so I've not paid much attention to the series because I decided the car was definitely not my cup of tea. So I believe we've got 2 races. I can't remember how long they are. But the second race will be a reverse grid race. So the first, so race 1, 30 minutes, and then we'll have a reverse grid race with the top decided by a random number, I believe, switched for round 2. So that should definitely be interesting. I'm hoping to see lots of sends, lots of vamos, people channeling their South American spirits in these races. And we've got 5 seconds left of this weight before we go on to another weight. So here we go. Now the cars are on the grid. Let's just yeah. So the timing there is just lying. So actually, in first is Tom. Let's find a decent camera for the start. We've still got a minute and a half. I don't know where I want to go for the start. Yeah, maybe I'll just have to be better at flying the camera. So first is Tom, second I believe was Rune, and third was Bien Major actually. Hopefully that timing will just sort itself out once we actually get underway, and it's just their position on the grid with the start line in the middle of the field, maybe confusing my coding. Right, so we've got 30 minutes to go, and I hope that in this race we'll see good close racing, and maybe, I don't know at all how well the tyres hold up, but there's a lot of power in this car, so it might get especially interesting towards the end of the stints as tyre wear might start to become a factor. And here we go, as sounds of engines revving as we're ready for lights out in this race here at Interlagos. And so Tom on your left there, and it seems like a good start there by Tom. And we've got up at the inside, there goes Rune. He's made a move into the first corner, and let's see, does everybody get through tidily? Oh, there's a bit of contact there in the middle, but everybody seems to be still pointing the right way, and Rune managing to overtake Tom there, and Tom still seems to be, I think he's consolidated that P2, and there's a battle there going on between BM Major and Wolf, and BM Major managing to hold it. Wolf there got pushed a bit wide, which allows Petrol to sneak up the inside, recovering from his, as he said, terrible qualifying, but he runs deep on the brakes. Will there be a chance for Luca to send out the inside? Don't think Luca managed to get the drive there, so no sends from him. So far, really keeping it all pointing roughly the same way. I don't think anybody's... Oh, there's obviously a contact here towards the back. A couple of guys quite a way off the field, but so far, very clean and tidy. Rune seems to have managed to pull out a nice 6/10 lead. Very handy in the opening lap there from him. And he's pulling away even further, so Tom's struggling at the moment, but doesn't look like BM Major's managing to put much pressure on him either, and I have completely left my car on the grid, getting confused in the excitement there. Sorry to the top guys who managed to avoid it. Yep, managed to see my own car on the track there, but thankfully I think there's plenty of space at Interlagos here that I didn't cause an accident for the leaders. I must have missed off one of my apps because I thought one of them had a nice big banner to tell you that you were on the track. Right, back to the racing rather than the commentator being a retard. Rune's continuing to pull out his lead. Yeah, Major's it's kind of staying around that 6/10, 7/10 gap, it seems, in P3. Petrol doesn't seem to be closing in, so maybe that's kind of his pace where he is at the moment. And he's got Luca close behind him. Let's see, kind of slightly. All these cameras are the same. That one's terrible. So at the moment Oscar is in a slipstream of his, well, a similarly liveried car, but I don't think they are teammates. And as he goes down for the outside, will that pay off for him? Oh, it's very close between them. They each give each other room. But I think Oscar might get better drive there on the outside. Yeah, and he manages to get past there. I think Masfant would have struggled with power, there being on the curb where he was. And oh, Marco Ferretti also managing to get past there as well. So yeah, I don't think that went well for Masfant there. He defended quite hard and fairly, but it meant that he just didn't get the drive out there and he lost 2 positions very quickly. So overall, Supercars didn't have a great start, it appears. He's dropped 8 places from his starting position. But there's quite a gaggle of cars in front of him, so maybe he can recover. Important to try and hold on for his P2, the championship position that he currently has. Oh, and they've got somebody off there in the PlayStation blue livery car. Who was that? Was Kevin there, who's managed to get going again, but that would have been costly. I think he lost out to a big pack of cars just there. Up the front, Rune seems to be kind of running away with this. The rest of the gaps between the top 5 seem to be staying pretty similar, but again Kevin locking up a little bit there. Maybe he's just needs some time to calm down after his little off-track adventures. Oh, we've got Supercars now. Is that in the slipstream? Is he gonna go for a send? Far too sensible there. Somebody obviously there's a bit of dust being kicked up. Ran a bit wide on the exit. Yeah, so this is all settled down so far, but there is a bit of a train here, but they're all separated by half a second or so. Oscar is quickly closed up though, or has he had an incident of his own actually and dropped back again? I'm not entirely sure on that one. I thought he was up. Oh, Supercars again, he looks like he's got a good drive here. Don't think Samuel was on the right line at all through the kink there as they come up the straight, and I think this is going to be a slam dunk. Go on Supercars, send it. Oh, squeezing. I think that is Yams, but a bit of a twitch. We're on the curb and all contact. Well, they're Supercars. I think that's all fair, and that is Supercars gaining the position. But I'm not entirely sure Samuel would have quite liked that bump he got there, but Supercars has managed to take 1 place back. Nearly running a little wide there, could have been disastrous. And actually, he seems to be going slow. Is Is that intentional to give the place back? Oh, that's just a bit too sporting, I think. I think he was fine to keep that. Oh, there was a lock up there, up ahead, and I think that might have allowed Leonardo a chance to close up a little bit on Mario with the purple VAF point liveried car, the Ford, on Ford action here. Oh, it's a bit too much on the power there, and a bit shaky for Leonardo, so he's not going to be able to capitalise on that small mistake from Mario just in front of him. So yeah, Runes continues to pull away at the front, and the gaps up there seem to all have opened out. So I think we're more interested in this mid to lower end of the field. Super Yam again, I think he's being out of position from whatever happened to him early on. He's faster than those around him, so again he's very close to Samuel. So go to a roof camera. Follow for a lap and see maybe where he's mentioned to capitalise. Looks like he's getting a better drive there out of the third corner. He's a bit more confident in getting the car turned in. A small lock up there as well from Samuel. Jonas at the back as well, just going up the inside there. Just give each other enough room, but I think more contact, but rubbing is racing, and I think Jonas was entitled there to the turning point at that point, so he moves up one place there. Super Yam, oh, has he got another run again this time? Is Samuel going to defend the inside this time around? Oh, Super Yam backing out early. Is he trying to get a better acceleration, a better run then down into the next straight? It's a bit too much power there and running wide. Dropping him back a little bit, but it doesn't seem to actually cost him that much time. So yeah, so still no change up really in those front running positions from that opening lap, and the gap's all around between 2 and 1 seconds between all of those cars. So the next little battle that we've really got on track is this battle for P9 between Mario and Leonardo. Mario very tidy into there, not giving any room on the apex for Leonardo to throw it up the inside. Oh, and again Leonardo, we saw that before, that he was had his not as big as that time, but he's had a little twitch through that final turn and has dropped back again, so he's probably going to need a couple of laps to work his way back up. And while I was watching that one, we've missed out on Yam actually getting past Samuel. Apologise for that, but okay, so let's see now whether Yam has pace, whether he's been eating his Vegemite for breakfast and has those B vitamins to get him down the road. Does look like he's pulling away from Samuel there, so I think he was being held up. The gap currently between him and Leonardo is 1.8 seconds. Let's see what that is next time around. I have to say, actually, I'll just have a quick look at the tyres. If they're to be believed, Leonardo is the only one on the super soft, so I don't know if that is going to cause him issues later on. Like I said, I've not really driven these cars for a full length distance, so no idea how that one's going to work out for him. But considering everybody else is on the softs, I'm going to say that's probably a mistake. So I think actually both Yam and just visually, Samuel seem to be quicker than the two in front of them. So I don't know if Mario is starting his own little trolley train. He does have a nice, I just spotted a nice little tortoise on the back of his car. I don't know if that's actually true, or he's trying to live and up to his livery. But I think this might become a four-wheel battle. So we've got Jonas now all over the back of Mass Fant. I think Jonas is somebody else who also struggled in those beginning laps and lost out. So he's now trying a bit of a recovery drive of his own. It's very close between them there, but there's no way really, I don't think, through this middle sector unless you get alongside going into it and force the car onto a different line. So again, Leonardo is closed up from that mistake that we saw him make earlier. I think this time Mario was the one who struggled to get the power down, so this might be his opportunity as they come up the big hill here. But these V8s, I imagine, have no issue with this hill at all. I still think that's a bit far unless he's going to go for maximum Vamos. Oh, it looks a bit squirrely under braking. Manages to get it turned in though, and that doesn't look optimal either. A bit too much curb, and that is giving Super Yam the run. Is that going to be enough for Super Yam to have a go again? You see him running quite wide on the exit. He's trying to pick up a slipstream, but I don't think there's enough room for him to really do anything with it. Oh, he's trying to go for a bit of a cut underneath on the exit there, but there wasn't enough room for it. Jonas is still behind Mass Fant, so he's not managing to make any progress. Oh, and up front we've got some changing going on. Finally, this has all been very steady up between our front runners, but the Wolf has managed to close up to Luca, so unless I missed something with those two swapping around, so it's a little bit more interesting. Rune's just disappeared off. He was obviously sandbagging in qualifying. It's just 5 seconds off the road, and BM, Major and Petrol just stayed roughly at that 1 second gaps between them. Stay with this for a little bit and see what's happening. Wolf is very close to you there, but I think the more important thing, rather than getting too close up underneath the car in front, is to make sure you get a good exit, and I think they're pretty much equal. Seems to have stabilised there, so let's go back to our P9 battle, where actually I said we missed it there, but Super Yam has managed to get ahead of Leonardo. I don't know whether he's now beginning to struggle on those softer tyres, whether he was forced into a mistake, because he was for quite a lot of this race, I think, looking at Mario without having to worry about anyone behind him, and now these two have closed up to him. Yam has quickly managed to get past him, and so I imagine his next target is obviously it will be Mario to get himself solidly into the top 10. But so far this is all looking good for Loon. We've got Wolf again very close to Luca. Is this close enough for him to try something? Luca goes defensive, but there's still a car width, but Wolf decides he'll try the outside. He's braking a little bit deeper, but he's not managed to run his car all the way alongside. Luca goes deep. I think Wolf's going to get a much better exit here due to having a much nicer line. So I think this is going to continue all the way down the next straight as well. Again, Luca feeling the need to get defensive very early. He's closed off the outside. Wolf doesn't fancy throwing it straight down the outside if they get quite close next. And Luca struggling to get the power down there. And has opened up a gap. Is that going to be enough for Wolf to get alongside? Just leaving enough space as they come up. This is a very tricky corner. I saw plenty of people struggling with this one in pre-qualifying. But Luca, or despite that little bit of oversteer on the power, has managed to hold on to the position and stop Wolf from really making the most of it. And Wolf puts wheel on the grass as he brakes. He manages to hold it. I have no idea how he manages to do that, but he's going to have to close up and have another go at that one. So let's see what's happening further back. So yeah, I think now Leonardo is beginning to struggle on his tyres. Instead of him attacking Mario, it looks like he's not managed to keep up with Super Yam, who's now the one closing in on Mario and is instead falling back. Mario, I think, had a bit of an oversteer drive out of that corner, but I think he's far enough ahead that Super Yam's not going to be able to do anything with it this time around. Up front, Petrol, I think, is closing in a little bit on BM Major, who still has Tom in his sights. So we could still have an interesting battle for P2 in the final 10 minutes of this race. We'll go back to our P9 battle. Unfortunately, we've had Marco Frey's disconnected from the server. Don't know what was caused that. And oh, Samuel's thrown out the inside of Leonardo there. I don't know whether that was managed to get alongside on the straight or he went for a dive, but I think that position is his, and I'm not entirely sure how much Leonardo is now struggling on those, if the data is to believe that he is on those softer tyres. So he is also one to keep an eye on whether he is now just going to go backwards. There was a little lock up from one of these two that I just saw up ahead on that last shot. Looks like very good positioning here from Super Yam. He's surely in a great position to get a tow here. I don't know whether he's having to lift or he's getting too close too early, or whether he's now going to get squeezed with the pit warner. There's plenty of room and he's already alongside. I think he is faster, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's a bit braver on the brakes. Oh, there's a bit of contact there, but they both get around okay, and Mario retains the position. I think Super Yam there maybe tried to brake late and maybe braked a bit too heavily, and therefore ended up the car going too straight, which caused the contact, which in the end meant that he didn't manage to pull off the overtake. Looking further back, we've got Eunice. I'm going to pronounce it with a especially long O just to not confuse him with Jonas, who's a little further up the road. He's currently under pressure from he's currently pressuring Masfant even, get the right way round. It looks like Mas might have been a bit deep there into that corner, but he's carried the speed through. That doesn't look like it's any issue. Rune setting the fastest lap, so obviously the tyres in these cars are able to hold up to the distance, and as the fuels come off and the grip increases, he is able to go faster. I thought we might have been having that group closing together up at the front between Tom, BM Major and Petrol, but it's all kind of stayed roughly the same gaps. Wolf looks like he's close back in upon Luca after we saw him put a wheel on the grass as he was braking, which dropped him back. But I think if Luca keeps it nice and neat and tidy, I don't think he's going to find a way through. But again, the same mistake that we saw earlier. He puts a wheel on the grass on the braking point, causes the car to have a big slide. He manages to hold on to it again, but it's costing him lap time and dropping him off the back of the car that he's trying to overtake. Let's go back to Supercars, who so far I think has been the one who's, well, at least on camera, we've seen the most moves on, but he's still gone to my data here 4 places down from where he started, so something didn't go right in the opening laps for him. The last time he tried, he actually, Mario goes a bit deep there, so will he still be able to keep it all together? Both cars I don't think had the optimal line through there, but I think Supercars is the one who's managed to carry more exit speed. It looked like Mario was a bit tight to the inside, so maybe didn't use all of the track that he had available, but it looks like Yam was the other way around, with too much power and a little bit of oversteer. Doesn't fancy slinking up the inside though. BM Major's having to go with Tom, and he's got past Tom, so is that a mistake from Tom there? I didn't notice the gap being that small before, so I think that must have been an error on Tom's part. Now Petrol is all over Tom's backside, so let's see what goes on here. It's looking like now a nice three-way fight for second. Tom trying to get a move up, and Petrol goes for the send. Tom sees it coming and makes space, but whew, that was going to be an accident unless Tom made room. And Petrol was a bit optimistic, but it worked. He is now in P3, and Tom has very quickly lost 2 positions. BM Major on a storming race, he's now at P2, and I think pace-wise he has Petrol under control, so if he keeps doing what he's been doing for the previous 25 minutes, I think that should all go very nicely for him. Now, I think these 3 are very equally matched because the gaps have been very similar all race, so I think it's just down to whoever keeps it nice and clean and tidy, which I don't think, I'm going to make an assumption that Tom didn't, which is what sparked this little bit of action off. But Petrol going very, very wide there, and I think he managed to block Tom, so Tom wasn't able to capitalise, but Tom has managed to get on the outside. I think braking a bit heavily and nearly lost control of the rear end of the car there from Tom, but I think all of that meant is he didn't get a chance to attack Petrol. But both of these looking very on the edge here, so still all to play for in this last 4 minutes for that final podium position. CP doesn't seem to be able to quite find some inspiration to actually get the move done on Mario. Briefly show our race leader, who so far hasn't bottled it, just because we've not really seen him since he actually got into that position at the start of the race. So there he is with his lovely orange Bottolo livery, and that's enough of him because he's not doing anything interesting. BM Major there in second, who's managed to take those positions that we saw off Tom when he made his mistake. Petrol seems to now have pulled away from Tom, so I think Tom may be struggling with tyre wear at this stage of the race, and again Wolf and Luca looking reasonably close together in the background, but Wolf doesn't seem to be able to quite get past Luca. I think he has more pace, but he's trying to use some different lines to try and get past Luca, and that's causing him to just make a little mistake, putting a wheel on the grass here and there, which is making this job even harder for himself. Team seems to be having a lonely race in 7th. I'm not sure whether he'll be happy. Oh, that's a bit of a moment there. I think he'll be fairly happy with that. He's been pretty vocal about the handling and the driving style of the car, so I think he'll be quite happy with P7. Pazzi in P8. Again, he's got a bit of a clear out. And Mario, oh no, Yam, what have you done? Mario seems to be on his own, so it looks like his defence of P9 has been pretty solid. He's been under pressure for a lot of the race, but he's still in P9. 10th now is Samuel, who seems to just be keeping it nice and steady. I don't know whether he's going to have pace to catch up to Super Yam. Do we have 1 or 2 laps left? I'm not entirely sure where Rune is in relation to the timer, so there might be another lap after this one. Super Yam looks like he's dropped back a lot of places, so he must have made a mistake somewhere. Oscar solidly in 13th. A little gap then back to Jonas. Seems like some of these guys are about a second a lap off their fastest. So I'm guessing tyre wear is a factor in these races. So Kevin's is 15th, Jonas is 16th, Masvan 17th, and Lugan 18th. So all still close together between these guys. So they all still got to keep it tidy as we go back up to the battle here for P5. Wolf is still trying to find a way past Luca. Is he going to try something bold? Oh, where is Rune? Rune is just crossing the line, so we're going to have another lap. So we're just starting our final lap of the race now. So he's got, basically, I think this is his chance. Is he going to go for the big last ditch send? Luca goes defensive. There's no room for Wolf anywhere. Let's see who gets the better exit down to this. Is probably the next best overtaking opportunity on this track. I think Luca has it covered this time around. Petra has managed to close up a bit on P2. BM Major, who's had a cracking race, but I don't think there's enough time for him to do anything about it. I think our lead podium positions are pretty much sorted. I think it's a question of who is going to be 5th in this race. So, but let's just watch Wolf into this corner, because this is probably his last chance if he tries up the inside. No, he's not close enough. So I think Rune, steady, flawless drive. We've not seen him put a foot wrong. He got a good start to. Oh, Maswad's disconnected. Good drive to take the lead at the start, and then since hasn't made a mistake, so he wins the race. BM Major again, similar to Rune, didn't put a foot wrong. Made up those spaces at the start, and then on Tom, so he's 2nd. Petrol recovers to 3rd after saying he had a bad qualifying. Tom is 4th, but who is going to be 5th? It's going to be close, but I think it's going to be Luca. But that was tight. That was a flicker of the positions there. I have it down as Luca, and I have the gap at 0.2 of a second there as they came across the line. Team was 7th. Pazman was 8th. Mario will finish 9th. Sam did manage to close up, but that 9th place that we saw Mario defending for most of the race is what he ended up with. Leonardo was 11th. Superyam ended up being 12th. We didn't see what incident he had that dropped him back down the order. Oscar 13th, Jonas 14th, Kevin 15th, and Eunice and 16th, Luke Jan 17th, and Mr. Floyd 18th of our finishing drivers. So Masvan ended up retiring, as did Mario Ferretti. Oh, Marco even, sorry, getting people confused, and Pizzani has joined the server, so I might have a co-commentator in race 2. Right, I don't have anything set up here. This server is about to go away, so here we go. Time for some art, so that when this all disappears we can have something on the stream. Right, there we go. Right, so I have no idea. Oh, I have to choose the randomizing for the next round, apparently. Okay, let's try and do that in an unbiased way. Oh, come on, Discord, behave. Right, we should have a co-commentator now of Pizzani. Hello.
Good evening. Is this the support channel? I can't find my race number.
Go away. Right. Okay. We need some random number
.org.
generator. Let's find one. Well, I might as well quit AC first, actually, and go back to my lovely title card that I've hopefully left on the stream. I can't remember what.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Right, what are we going between? Is it the full grid randomization, or is it a top 10, or is it a what? Or do we get to pick where we're doing it between?
No, that's why we need the randomizer. It's gonna be a random number between 15 and 10.
15 and 10. Okay.
I think.
I'm gonna trust you. Like I said, I decided that this car was not my cup of tea, so I paid no attention to, even as a mod, what the rules are at all for this series. So anyway, here we go. We have a random number generator, and the result is 11. Do we like that result, or do we want to go again?
I don't think we're allowed to go on again.
I'm going on community spirit. If people say they want a different result, you have 5 seconds to say so.
Who was 11th and who was 12th?
I don't know. We've got one vote for reroll.
I don't think the dictator will allow.
Well, 12 is the reroll. It's not much different from 11.
Unlucky.
Right, okay. That has been sent over to the mighty Sorian to set up the next server. So that is locked in. that can't change anymore. So 12th was who was 12th? I have no idea. Should be documents Assetto Corsa out race out.json. Yeah, this isn't very readable. So yeah, that is completely unreadable to me. Yeah, let me try and find something that actually lists the result now that I've left the server. I think I should have something.
Is it on the S tracker?
Oh yes, that would say, but I think I should have something. Maybe. Or maybe not. It doesn't look like it's worked.
Here we go. 11th was Leandro Schaefer.
Okay, well I think we did 12th. So whoever it is, so he'll be P2.
Oh, we changed it?
Yeah, I re-rolled
okay,
it.
then.
It was
Super Jam is the lucky winner then. He was 12.
Okay, maybe he has a chance for redemption. He seemed to have pace, but he made a few mistakes in the race. So he was making up places and then suddenly was back again. So, well, he won on that re-roll then.
He is in the OP car as well, so it should be good.
Okay.
And poor Oscar Pink is the loser in that reverse.
Oh, was he P13? So just missing out. So he's going to have all of the fast guys ahead of him. So he's going to struggle to make an impact on them. Luca is playing Assetto Corsa. Oh, very nice. That's a surprise. I should probably have turned those Steam notifications off.
Yeah, they should be off all the time, not just for the broadcast.
That should be that hidden. Right, do we have a server again yet?
I think we're having some technical difficulties.
Okay. Well, as I have been doing this first to keep my voice in fine condition, I have worked my way through most of a beer during that first race, so I apologise if there was some slurping. But because of that, I'm going to need a comfort break, so I'll leave you in charge of keeping our listeners entertained.
It's going to be some silence then. Trying to ask if our winner, Rune, is up for an interview.
where are we up to? Do we have a server again?
I believe we have a server, but some people are concerned that the reverse grid is not correct. But I don't think the in-game leaderboard actually shows the correct starting.
Should do, I think. Yeah, that looks right.
Well, Lucas is on pole.
Super Yam is on pole.
Yeah.
In the leaderboard, anyway, in the entry list. Actually, right. Super Yam,
Yeah, but
Leonardo.
the in-game leaderboard.
Yeah, just as yeah, that should be. Well, I'm looking at the entry list, the timetable. Yeah, it seems to be the same.
Yeah, it's correct for me as well, actually.
Yeah, I think it was reset. Anyway, right, I've got to remember this time around to not leave my car on the grid. Same for you. It's probably more important for you because you're going to be on the racing line. Because I wasn't.
I'll just move it to be perpendicular of the racing line.
Okay, yeah. We can leave a little roadblock, like change the track, just you know, roll in chicane. Where should we put it?
In the middle of turn 1?
Oh yeah. I think that'll be perfect.
Inside of turn 1.
Just yeah, just after the crest, so you can't see until you get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, perfect.
If my memory serves me correctly, Super Yam had a decent result in race 2 last time.
Yeah, he was going well, but made mistakes. So I think he had a poor start, was recovering, and then had another mistake. So he had more speed than where he actually finished. He was actually battling at one point for P9. So
yeah, I was thinking on Mosport.
Yeah.
Round 1.
Yeah, well, I think those immediately 5 guys behind him, I think he is quicker than. It's just because he made a mistake. So
yeah, he actually won race 2.
So I think he's in a good shot again for this race, because I think the first person who's probably quicker than him in terms of outright lap time is Team down in P6. So it's going to take a while for Team to...
you mean Timmy?
Timmy?
Yeah.
Indeed, to work his way back up. So let's go through your grid. So yeah, Super Yam with his Veggie, Mite and Foster's themed livery with a famous badger on it from the 2000s, I think.
Where's this badger?
Remember the memes? It's everywhere.
Ah, right.
From the Mushroom Snake song. Then in second is Leonardo, who has obviously some unicarried characters in his name, and my programming is shit. So that's all knocked up. Oh no, actually, I think I've debugged that one. It's Kunos, it's not me, it's fine. And here we have in P3, we have Samuel, who apparently has a ping of 699 milliseconds. Watch out, guys. However, his latency and packet drop seems fine, so although the skin says warp velocity on it, that's not as bad as it could have been.
It's the famous Brazilian Ramos ping.
And then Mario, who we saw very strongly defending his position, is starting. Where are we up to? Because this is board 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. Yeah, I should stop faffing around with this. This is taking far too long. We've got like
Mario is 4th for me.
Yeah, there's a start. I've got lost in the trees. This is going terribly. Where's the track?
Lights are on. Let's make sure we get our cars off.
Right, I'll try and at least. So we've got 5 lights, we're ready to go, and it looks like Super Yam there has managed to get a good start. And P2, Luke Yan is going to be under a little bit of pressure, I think, and that all looks reasonably tidy as they go into the first corner. That was a rubbish camera position. Oh, we've got a contact, and that is, that's been spin around, I think it's Samuel.
That's Samuel, yep.
Spun around, right, okay, let's sort my car out this time. Right, my car is off the track.
Mario also went off in turn 2.
Oh, we've got loads of cars. Oh, that's far too wide for this corner. I think they managed to sort themselves out, but there was people on the grass and there's contact there. And again, we've got another spinner.
Yeah, Kevin was taken out.
Luca has had a storming start. He's up 4 places. I think Luca's in a good shout for this one with that start. He's already got past a lot of the cars that are theoretically slower than him. Oh, a bit of contact there though, and I think that's going to be going a bit deep for Pazzi. He's going to be under pressure, I think, coming into the next hairpin from BM Major, who had a cracking drive to P2 in the last race, and he goes up the inside. Oh, that was kind of inevitable, and BM Major gets spun around completely there as well. He kind of had a nose inside, and it looked like he was always going to try that, but Pazzi turned in anyways. But I don't think BM Major was alongside enough to really try the move, but it was always going to happen.
Samuel not happy with that rejoin, flashing his lights.
So Super Yam seems to have pulled out a second gap. Leonardo is still second. I went like in the last race, so I don't know if it was a mistake in my app or whether he actually was on the super softs in the last race. It looks like he's on the softs this time.
Apparently the stream is now a...
Is what? I've lost.
It's a slideshow.
Oh, okay.
Although a slideshow is apparently faster.
Oh, okay. I will lose even more bitrate then, because I can't remember what the downscaling thing is. Probably my internet. It has periods where it just decides it doesn't want to do things. I remember where the settings are.
Your ping is 15.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It's only France I've got to talk to. It's not that far. Right, the bit rates should be incredibly low now. So if that doesn't fix it, I'm not seeing OBS being very. Maybe I should close paint. I don't know whether it's a CPU thing. Some things are just, or maybe it's. I don't need to save paint. Maybe it's not being properly focused in AC. I know sometimes it can be not very happy about it. Doesn't seem to be showing anything now. Come on, Discord.
Yep. I'm getting some feedback. Also, the audio doesn't stutter at all, so it shouldn't be.
Everything looks fine on here, but this is not showing anything. Sorry for the technical issues.
Well, I can give us some radio updates. Superyam is still in the lead, almost 2 seconds ahead of Leandro at the Temme in third still, 1.5 seconds behind Leandro, with Luca in. Rune is currently working on a wolf.
Right, okay, OBS looks happier to me. We've got a rather rubbish bitrate I think now, but hopefully that is a stream that is online again. Oh, so
Rune might have a chance on Wolf now.
Right, okay, hopefully this is back with you as well. So I think Rune, will he look up the inside into this final turn, or will he save it for the long back straight?
Depends on his exit. He got a little bit of a tail.
Yeah, I think they both were a bit out of shape.
Yeah, definitely too far.
Try anything there. I mean, this is our closest battle currently on the track. Tom has managed to keep in front of Petrol during those opening laps. Luca's carried on his impressive start. He's fourth. So I think team is should be able to, I think, close up on Leonardo, I think, reasonably quickly. So maybe in a couple of laps there'll be a battle also for P2. But at the moment, the closest battle is this one we got currently for P5.
Yeah, Rune is working on Wolf, Pete is working on Tom.
Bit of a wobble there from Wolf, and that means Rune's managing to get, he's looking to the outside, now the inside.
Oh, the Vamos.
Wolf opens up the steering, probably a bit too much. I think he should have given Rune some room, but he's ended up giving away too much. Was that contact or just Rune getting a bit out of shape there?
That was a little bit of rubbing.
And here comes Tom now on the inside, more rubbing, and Tom I think is going to be the big winner. No, he isn't.
A bit much rubbing.
Yeah, Rune is now having a nightmare of a race. Tom, the winner of that interaction. So same with Petrol. So
that's unfortunate.
According to my app, Luke Yan has had a great start. He's up 10 places. Which I think that's correct. Yeah, so I think he finished right at the back of the race in the first round, so he would have started P17 or around there for this race. So he's managed to avoid all of that carnage that we did see loads of cars like 3 or 4 wide down this straight that we're on now on the first lap. Managed to obviously pick his way through that. BM Major, who saw having to spin early on with that move that was a bit half-hearted up the inside. He goes for another move up the inside, this time on Jonas, and gets the job done, but Jonas can have a better exit. No, I think that is BM Major's position now. Moves himself up to P10.
Yeah, I was only half paying attention there, but I think Jonas might have been a little bit too nice, giving him the...
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of braking into that corner down there, is there? I've not really driven this car at this track, so I couldn't say that for sure, but... Petrol very wide. Keeping his foot in though, so he's not lost out to Tom, but Tom took a lot of curb on the entry there to the final turn. I don't know if that's going to spoil his exit and give Petrol an opportunity, but he's too far back, I think, for anything to happen. Wolf now, instead of being under attack after all of that madness with Rune, is now attacking Lugan. Or Lucan. Don't know if that J is silent. And Lugan giving him the space on the inside, but too much power and loses it, so Tom gains that pace. Manages to keep it together and get back going again, I think in a safe way, but he's obviously lost a lot of places. So Rune, after his incident that we saw, is now in P12. And looking at working on Samuel. Timir is already, like I said, he's quickly got up to Leonardo. So I don't know whether this one's going to take a lot of work. I didn't pay much attention to what the lap times were, but definitely in the first race, these top 7 or 8 cars, they were easily just clear of the rest of the pack. So I think he maybe does have a reasonable pace advantage. BM is closest now to Oscar, so he's trying to quickly recover. He's obviously knows what is what to go quickly around here with having finished that first race in P2. He's a bit ragged there and a bit wide. Timmy though has got a great run. Now he goes towards the outside of Leonardo. Will he brake later or earlier? I think he's managed to get it nearly done on the brakes. Manages there to take his own line through the second part of the chicane. I think that is job done from Timmy, and a bit of a wiggle from Leonardo. Being close behind means that I don't think he's going to be able to mount a counter attack down the next straight. So I think that is Timmy now up to P2.
Yeah, that's a great move from Timmy. Let's see if he can catch up to Supercars.
Yep, 4 seconds now that Supercars though has taken out a lead by having those nice clear few laps. There's a lock up there from Oscar, and BM is going to try and make the most too much on the power. Leonardo is still close though to Timmy. He's not just pulled out an instant gap, and Petrol now also as well close with Tom. Plenty of battles going on in this reverse grid race. Though this BN Oscar battle is probably the closest one. BN looking up the inside again. This is where it went wrong for him in the opening lap. Oscar, however, gives him the space, but now Oscar's going to be on the inside for the fast left-hander down the hill. But BN then cuts back underneath, and he's going to now have the inside into the tight final turn. But surely Oscar's going to get more power, I would have thought, on that outside line. So let's see now whether Oscar can come back at that. And the thing is as well, I think that as well, they held each other up for all around the final turn there, and Rune and Jonas behind also having a battle, and Rune gets past Jonas in the background. Oscar locks up and contact.
Yeah, they both went a bit sideways there into turn one.
They've kept it just about together, but I'm suspicious Rune's just going to try and capitalise on this. He's going to go for some Vamos. Here he goes. And that's it. So Rune's made 3 places. Mario is it Mario or is Jonas in there? And sorry, the teammate Mario is also trying to capitalise. So BM Major losing out there from trying to move in a corner where I think he would have been better hanging back and trying down the straight. Not working out for Jonas.
Jonas put his outside tires on the grass.
So Rune now on his recovery drive. He's looking towards the outside. He's going to cut back underneath for Oscar. And let's see, does he try the same thing that BM Major tried? I don't think he will. I think he'll wait. Yeah, he's not trying up the inside into that final turn. Oscar's gone deep. I think Rune's going to have a much better exit here. He's already right up on the... He might be too close too early, to be honest, and not be able to kind of pick a line.
Maybe we can get some bump drafting.
So Rune's going to the outside. BM Major's in close company, so if these two do something stupid, he could get back in on the action. Oscar very neat and tidy, gets it turned in and blocks Rune from doing the over-under. And that, like I said, that means that now BM Major is right up on the Rune's gearbox as well. So it's now definitely a 3-way fight as they come down the next straight. Rune pulls out. I don't know if that's defending or attacking. I think it was more defence than attack. BM Major looked like he got a bit wild under the brakes, and Oscar goes deep on the exit, so Rune gets a chance to go alongside, but he touches the curb and nearly loses it himself. So I think nobody there is going optimal speed up the hill. Still Oscar wild again. Manages just to keep it all pointing roughly in the right direction and keeping his car on enough of a line to not let Rune get that alongside anywhere, but
Oscar is definitely good on defense, even if the guy behind has a pace advantage.
Oh, again Oscar going. I think he's just not quite getting that last turn right, and it's going to cause him problems in his defence. Here comes Rune again, but again I feel like he's caught at the wrong point and kind of ends up trapped with nowhere to use the overspeed. But he's further alongside this time in the braking zone. Again Oscar squeezing, and there's contact again this time, and Oscar is the one who loses out from that contact. Kind of putting that one down as a racing incident. Neither of them wanted to be the first one to brake, and just a small contact that caused Oscar to spin out there. Time-wise, he's not lost out too much. He's lost out maybe 3 or 4 seconds, but it's cost him 4 places. Up front though, Timmy even has half that gap that we Supercars had made in the opening laps. So I think we're soon, in the next 5 minutes or so, going to also have a battle for the lead. Doesn't seem Luca. I thought Luca would have been moving forward as well here with Timmy, but doesn't seem to be quite making an impression. We must have missed it. Petrol's got past Tom. I don't think they were the other way around earlier, weren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
We saw them after the contact with Rune.
Samuel making a move on Bien Mate. Oh, there's a lot of rubbing.
I thought for a second then that BM Major was going to hit that pit wall at racing speed, but manages to not be a massive accident. And towards the back of the race we've also got some battles going on. Mario under attack again, this time by Jonas. Jonas there making the move, getting past it, very close on the exit, kind of squeezed Mario right up to the limit of the track there, but Mario's got a better run coming out of the corner, so might be able to come back on the counter attack. Jonas defends the inside early and blocks off Mario. Realistically, I think by the time you've covered off the inside, there's not a lot you can do on that corner. Mario very wild on the exit. It's all been, I say, fairly good racing so far. Been lots of battles on track, and there's been a couple of contacts that I think could have been avoided, but I kind of feel it was just a bit more like AC physics at play, the results of them, more than people being maybe overly aggressive or not being fair to each other.
Yeah, indeed. There is some.
Petrol's just at the fastest lap. What does that mean in terms of timings? So Petrol just did a 1:34.1 on that last time around. So he closed up 3/10 on that lap to Luca ahead. So it's not a massive difference in pace. It's not like he's going to be closing up that 3-second gap at a rapid pace. It'll take him 10 laps, which is more than time we've got in this race. So
Timmy is now under 1 second behind Super.
Yeah. So that's going to become very interesting as we come now approaching the final 10 minutes. BM Major is now caught as next person to try and overtake on his recovery drive. Doesn't try it again up the inside where it didn't go well for him earlier on in the race. I think he's got a good exit here. This might be an opportunity as they come up to the over the start finish line again. Probably not close enough, but it all looked neat and tidy. Oh, that's a mistake there from Samuel. I was just looking to see whether anybody mentioned anything in the chat. I wasn't paying 100% attention as to what caused that accident there, but I just suddenly saw Samuel sideways. So BM Major now in 9th, and Samuel has now dropped down to 15th. Due to that.
I saw Bien showing himself in Samuel's mirror, but he wasn't close enough to make any.
Maybe Samuel just put a wheel on the grass then in braking, or was just. I've had actually. There's enough lag on my preview of the stream. I can tell you in a second what actually happened, but it's frozen, so I can't. I hope that's not what you guys are seeing, because it's not very. I think there was contact. Yeah, I think Samuel had it covered off, but Bien just gave him a tap on entry. Yeah, and YouTube is saying my video is doing something weird, but the thing is, OBS says everything is fine, and I'm not using anything. So apologies for the quality of the stream. I'm not entirely sure what is.
They're saying if you go off screen with your cursor, it goes insane.
Right. I apologise. I will keep my cursor on screen then. It must be something to do with AC and processes.
Yeah, it doesn't like being.
I should have run AC.
Oh.
Anyway, back to racing. Oh no, Timmy, what did you do? Gap's now at 3 seconds.
Yeah, I missed that as well.
So, Soups Yam. Proof that those veggies are good for you. Now, it looks like Lucas closed up a bit on Leonardo even. Forgetting who's who. Sorry, read initials. Didn't look like a very solid break in there from Leonardo as he was just coming around the first corner. Looks like he was maybe a bit, either the brake bar's too far towards the back or something. It just looked like the rear end was just wanting to try and get away from him. So I don't know if he's struggling a little bit as we're getting towards the end of the race.
So Kevin just gave up a position to Jonas. I don't know exactly what happened between them earlier.
I don't remember seeing any contact between those two in particular.
Yeah, Jonas was going for the slipstream down the straight, and suddenly Kevin slowed down.
Maybe there was contact earlier on in change positions or something. Both seem to be going at normal speeds now. Yeah, so Timmy's last lap was a 1:38. So obviously when I cut to him and noticed the gap had gone out, he'd obviously made a mistake. So that last lap 4 seconds slower than his best, which is why we ended up with this 3-second gap at the front again. Luca is closing up though on Leonardo. It's going to be something to watch as we get into the final stages of this reverse grid race. Setting fastest laps. What will that do for him? He's 3 seconds behind the car in front. I don't think that's going to be enough for him to really close up unless those guys in front run into difficulty. I think P8 is where he's going to be able to get to now.
Yeah, it was at 6 seconds a couple of minutes ago, but I don't think it.
These guys they're close to each other, but they're not battling each other, so they're not going to start losing loads of time unless they just literally just make a mistake. So Super Yam's last lap was a 1:34.9, team a 1:34.5, so that's half a second difference even. So this might still get close between these leading two. Right at the very end of the race, but I think whatever mistake Timmy did, and that was his him losing his shot at having a chance to fight for the lead.
Rune just went off again. down to 9th.
Obviously pushing too hard, trying to make up for that time that it's a bit unnecessary. I think we just kind of discussed it. That's even if he'd pushed aside as he could, that's all he was really going to get where he was. So BMH are kind of good, solid driver from race 1 who was second. Kind of a bit of his own making, I think. The troubles we seen him have in this race kind of put his nose in a gap that he hadn't quite really got enough overlap for, and that then caused an incident that dropped him down the field. He's now in 8th. Rune 9th. Oscar is 10th. Lucian is 11th. Jonas 12th. Eunice 13th, Kevin 14th. So a bit of a gap then back to Samuel, who I think maybe might be a bit upset with BM Major. Don't know if we'll see an incident file for that, but I think that was very definite that Samuel had his car kind of turned in nicely at the apex, and at the end just gave him a nudge on his rear corner and just spun him off. Well, we've got Wolf on Tom now. As we come into the final 3 minutes of this race.
And it looks like there will be a nice battle for the last podium position as well, between Pete, Luca and
Tom
Leandro.
Doing a dummy there. He looked like he was going to go towards the Wolf even. Looked like he was going to go to the outside and then quickly changed his mind to the inside, and I think that's worked for him. Tom tries to turn in, but, well, didn't work. His car in the way. So I think that is Wolf successfully moved himself up to P6. He's got a nice drive out of there. Oh, it touches the curb a little bit, which caused him to struggle for a bit of drive, but I think that is him solidly into that position. And yes, Luca now is up the inside of Leonardo. There's a rubbing all the way around that corner. Petrol deciding to tuck up behind Luca. Luca runs a bit deep and Petrol's trying to capitalise it. Will he try and go for both of them with a bit of brass as well to try and find some space? Doesn't manage to get in front of both, and actually Petrol just nerfs everybody.
Yeah, Leandro got a little bit loose and...
No, I think that was all caused by... Well, I don't know whether Leandro lost it, so which then meant that the closing speed wasn't what Petrol expected, but I think Petrol managed to hit both of the other cars in that move whilst getting himself up into P3. So again, another one I think for the stewards to look at.
It's looking promising for the Canadian Moose versus the Finnish Moose.
Right, so North American Mooses are superior. You heard it here first. So Wolf, I think in all of that carnage, Petrol inflicted carnage, managed to gain a position as well. So did Tom. I think, yeah, Leonardo dropped back quite a few places because of that. And, but he's in a bit of a gap now, so I think that's him solidly in that position. So we've got 35 seconds left on the clock. Will Super Yama finish this lap? Will we go again? I'm not entirely sure.
I think it will be one more lap. It's gonna be close.
Trying to remember what the camera's on. There we go, that's what I like. Alright, 7 seconds now, this will be it. So we're on board with the race leader, Super Yam, as he comes up now the hill. This will be, I think, his second win, winning both of the reverse grid races. Being very lucky with those random number generators. Timmy is second, Petrol third, but we'll see what the stewards have to say about that. Luca fourth, Tom, Wolf fifth, and Tom is in sixth. Leonardo finished 7th, and Rune is actually under pressure for BM Major. I don't know if he's carried on having more bottles or what happened there, but okay, so Rune finishes 8th, BM for Major 9th, so they were our 1 and 2 from the previous race, all the way down in the lower orders of the top 10. Lucian finishes in 10th, Oscar 11th, Eunice in 12th, Kevin 13th, Samuel 14th, Jonas 15th, and his teammate Mario just behind him 16th. And looks like we had a retirement for Patti Manaland. So more finishes in this race, but very good race there from Super Yam. We didn't see him really make a mistake. I think Timmy could have maybe taken the fight to him, but somewhere along the way he lost 4 seconds of track time, which would have, you see, a 2-second gap at the end of the race, so he could have maybe had a lap or something to maybe try something. So yeah, so who should we try and maybe talk to about from this race?
Well, Rune was up for it.
Let me find another bit of paint, because then I can close the set cursor and it doesn't matter if we go to a slideshow. Didn't save the last one, so I can't talk and paint at the same time, I'm sorry. Right, there we go. Close AC, so hopefully that now means the stream will kind of behave. Right, okay. Right, so should we steal a Rune then?
I'll check if he's ready.
I'm stealing him anyway.
Okay.
Oh, what have I done? I've moved channels. Rune, how was that for you?
Do you really want me to?
Well, we saw a bit of a clusterfuck, let's be honest. It was looking like it was going well, and then just in the final corner, it looked like BM Major was kind of trying to overtake, was it Oscar at that point?
I'm not sure. I think it was Wolf and Tom, I think. Because I just passed Wolf in a downhill corner, and then I thought I cleared everybody. So I just turned in for the final corner, and that was that. Shouldn't have turned in, I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I can't remember exactly what happened there, but it just looked like yeah, everybody just kind of didn't give each other quite enough room, and there was just a little bit of contact, which caused some sideways movement, and then just everything went mad after that.
Yeah, and I mean, I still had a reasonable shot, but I dropped behind the 2 guys I didn't want to drop behind, which is Oscar and BM Major. Because those 2 guys always defend like it's the last lap of the race, which they're entitled to, but it's hard to pass them. So I lost a lot of time there. But yeah, I mean, I made some mistakes myself. That second race shouldn't be too bummed out, I guess.
Yeah,
just glad
what happened there? We didn't see anything on camera, but we noticed you later on in the race lost a few more places.
Well, the one with I didn't actually lose any places until like the 3 laps to go, because that's when I just lost the rear on my own. That was just a stupid mistake. And then I got Ben Major back in the final corner because he went off in kind of a is that clock moment. He just, I don't know, he just missed the braking point, and that was an easy position for me.
So despite that, you kind of feel okay about that result then for the second race?
Well, no, I wanted to win, of course, but
Yes. The
I mean,
first
could
race
have been
didn't
worse.
seem very eventful for you. You got a good start, and that allowed you to have a get past Tom pretty much straight away, and then you just seemed to have the pace to just do your own thing. Is that how it felt to you?
Yeah, I knew from practice and pre-qualifying I was the fastest car on track. So once I cleared Tom, I knew I was kind of should be able to cruise to a win, and that's kind of what happened. So
Was
at,
there
at least I got some action in race 2. That's
was there a mistake from you in qualifying then to not be on pole? Because Tom
yeah.
was 2/10 faster than you.
Tom kind of cooled down his super soft tires, and I felt like I didn't need to, which in the end turned out to be the wrong decision.
Right, I did kind of notice that a little bit in qualifying. Like everybody set their first laps, and then nobody seemed to improve on them for a long time.
Yeah, it's kind of the tires were just too hot to do at least 2 laps, or even if you did a fast out lap, you couldn't actually do a hot lap. So
right,
but Tom figured it out better than anyone else, I guess.
Okay, let's see. Who else can we? Oh, you got any questions, Sani?
No, I'm just looking at the incident. It looks like Wolf was a little bit late on the brakes, so we hit you in the rear room, and while you were sideways trying to save your car, Tom went for the overtake on Wolf, and then you got double murdered.
Yeah, I'd only felt a double murder, so. But anyway, yeah.
Tom actually drives through your car.
Yeah, I saw that on my screen. I was like, okay, someone just doesn't give a flying F, if you know what I'm saying. So, oh well, better luck next time, I guess.
It's going to be a good screen.
Right, is our race 2 winner ready for a chat? Let's get rid of Rune. Bye, Rune. That is what Pizzano was just talking about for those of you who aren't following us on Discord. So that's, yeah, car mating going on there.
You could call it that, yeah.
What am I doing? Discord.
Yeah, you were going to bring it up on the...
Super Yam!
Ah!
Well done.
I have a question.
Yeah, go.
Wait. This was a question that was once asked to Mika Hakkinen. Was it easy?
Oh, yeah. I had no problem. was so easy. Right? That's how it goes?
Yeah.
Something like that, but no, definitely not. Teme had me on pace, and he just, I was braking a lot earlier for T4, and just had, he had to avoid me onto the outside. I don't know if you guys caught it or not, but...
right, we noticed that he lost 4 seconds at some point.
Yeah.
But we didn't realise that was because he had actually closed you up to start attacking you.
Yeah, he was right on my bumper for T4, but I was taking the same line the whole race. I was consistently braking at about 125, and I think he was at about 100. So he had to avoid me. But I had the same thing happen to me twice in race 1.
So that bit of brake checking worked out for you then.
Yes, obviously intentional. You know I'm a dirty driver, and I like to push people out of the way all the time. So,
well,
yeah.
We say that we saw a bit of action in race 1 where it looked like, to be honest, you had a bit of contact, but you got past somebody who I forget. But then you gave the place back, which didn't feel you had to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying to Sam, it was Sam Raveda that I had that run in with, but I mean he has a lot of troubles with netcode, I think, and considering I'm at 150 and he's at about 250 ping, we're gonna have weird interactions like that. So if like I don't want to pass somebody like that. So we're good friends anyways. So I'd much rather have a good fight with him instead of passing on a technicality.
So this is your second race 2 win, is that right?
Yep.
So when are you entering the lottery?
Yeah, seriously. I've gotten lucky twice here, and I can't imagine my luck is gonna last all that much longer. I mean, but if I keep making mistakes in race 1 and fall back far enough, then I guess you never.
Yeah, I'd say you feature a reasonable amount in the race 1 footage, because we kept on kind of seeing you catching up with guys, and then suddenly the next time we come in for a little check up on you, you seem to have lost them all again.
Yeah, that was just as I was saying. That was the same thing that happened to Teme in this race. I had it happen twice where people were braking earlier than I had, and there was just no time to. But it was a wonderful race. I don't really like this track. It's a bit too technical for my liking, but I'm happy I got through it.
So
and we'll see how.
Is this car more your driving style? Because you seem to be more competitive in this relative to everybody else, I'd say, than the GT3 races.
Yes, absolutely. These V8, like my entire driving style is based on being slow into the corner and fast out, and these perfectly accentuate that. So that's why I'm so slow in F3, and that's why I can't necessarily keep up with in GT3, because you have to carry a little bit more speed into the corner, and I'm losing every single corner from then on. But I'm trying to work on that in F3.
I'd say F3 is the perfect car to work on that, because that car is all about, like, you don't want to lose any speed because it has no power, and it will drop. So you just want to
just send it.
When I'm looking at the S tracker and trying to compare my laps to Philippe, it's he's carrying about, I don't know, 10, 20 kilometers an hour sometimes faster into the corner, which I just can't fathom yet. But I'm working on it, and we'll.
Oh, I think we lost you there.
We'll get there. It's all.
Okay. Well, congratulations and good speaking to you. I'm going to drop you back now.
All right, thank you very much, and I will. I'm going to have fun looking back at this broadcast.
Cool, boy. Right, can we steal one more Peterson? Should we see if Timmy's about?
Sure.
Oh, he's just disconnected, so.
He said yeah.
He said yeah, but I was about to drag him out of his little Supernova channel, but he's disappeared from there.
He's back.
Where is he?
Split 1.
Split 1. There he is. Hello, how was that for you?
Timmy!
We heard from Supercars that basically as soon as you caught him, it seemed like his braking point caught you out, and then that's where you lost the time. We didn't catch it on camera.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. I was closing him really quickly, like 3 tenths, 4 tenths a lap, doing quali laps all the time, and then just as soon as I catched him, he just braked too early. Like, that's a harsh thing to say, but it was like 40 meters before you needed to brake. I'm not mad, but just kind of annoyed at myself.
Yeah, we kind of felt that you must have, like, we didn't see that, so we thought you might have just made a different mistake because you were closing in, and then that kind of made a gap that you couldn't close up to have another go later on. So did you manage to, we saw quite a lot of action on that first lap. Did that work out well for you? Because you obviously very quickly got into that second place position.
Yeah, I went from P6 to P3 in first corner without any contacts. I just dived on the inside and hoped for the best. And it worked this time.
Just to touch back on that breaking point from Super Yam, did you feel like he braked earlier than normal? Like his normal breaking point?
I don't know. I wasn't that close to him before, but
Okay, because we did talk to him about it, and he said that was his breaking point. He always braked.
yeah, it just felt really, really early to me. I braked 10 meters before my own breaking point and still had to go to left to not to hit him.
Yeah, that is one of the scary things about the reverse grid. I mean, you get some slower guys suddenly at the front.
Yeah, and Yam isn't even a slow guy. He's pretty good driver, but I was just caught out by it.
Yeah, and it didn't mean Super Yam in particular, but normally that's usually some slower guy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Mm.
Did you catch my? I have to talk about this. Did you catch my overtake on Leonardo or something on T1
Was that in race 2 or race?
race 2? Yeah.
I honestly can't remember. We had quite a lot going on.
Gosh darn it, because I went around him on turn 1 on the outside.
I think so, because I think he might have dropped it on the exit. I'm not 100% sure. Might have been a different black car.
I think we had a slideshow for the start of race 2.
Okie dokie. But yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised about my pace on the race 2 because I was doing laps which were better than my qualifying laps almost the whole race.
How did you feel about your race 1 result? Because you were quite vocal about the car in Discord, so I kind of felt, I said on the stream that your result from race 1 I thought you'd be quite happy with, were you?
Well, the result was good, but the race itself was completely shit. I made mistakes left and right and was just slow.
Well, we did. I think a couple of times we cut to you in the first race. Your car was not going in the correct direction. Like it was pointing roughly the right way, but it wasn't going in a quick way down the track.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I made one bigger mistake and lost 3 seconds, but then I was just, well, the best term. You could find my performance in the third Fast and the Furious movie. It was just a slideshow.
Oh, okay, well.
So pleasantly surprised about the second race and how I managed it.
That's great. At least you're maybe finding some pace now in this car. So you're gonna see you again up the front in the next rounds.
Yeah, I think I don't know what's the next track on V8, but I'm going to win one of the F3 races at Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, you're gonna win an F3 race, okay?
Yeah, I'm just going to win it.
Yeah. All right. Well, and that's all the questions we have for you. So I'm gonna drop you back in the Split One channel. Bye.
Bye.